Hello and welcome into another edition of the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Sammy Miller, alongside your broadcasters, Ian Nicholas and Dylan Pescatore. And the Firebirds are on the road, this time at Gov Fuller Field, the home of the Falmouth Commodores, after last night's huge 10-6 victory over the Wareham Gatemen. And we said it last night, it was almost like a home run derby for the Firebirds. 4 different home runs, 2 from Joe Oyama, 1 from Eddie King Jr., and the last from Colin Tuft. Ian, how encouraging is it for these players to see that ball soar out of the park?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, I know Joe Oyama probably didn't need the encouragement, but now he's got 4 home runs in the last week, didn't have a single one headed into the week. He is continuing to be the best player in the league, at least from my perspective, a very biased perspective. And then 2 guys who have been trying to heat up from the plate who really needed some big at-bats. Eddie King, the last 2 days for him have been sensational. 3 hits in the loss to YD, and then a 3-run home run, I'd argue his biggest hit of the season to give Orleans the lead last night. And then Colin Tuft. I know the game was out of hand, but he's just such an easygoing guy who, he's so good defensively, but when the bat gets hot, he's going to be a really well-rounded player for this team. And that was smoked to left field. He showed his power once again.
And Derek Clark had a very Derek Clark performance. He was absolutely killer on the mound for the Firebirds. 6 innings, 6 Ks. What made him so effective last night?
Well, I think yesterday for Derek Clark, it was exactly what he brings to the mound. It was a fire, it was a dog in him that he will get through whatever comes his way. And whether it was a little bit of sloppy defense by the Firebirds or some bounces that didn't go his way, he continued to show resiliency, continued to not let that affect him. And he had a great start. That's exactly what the Firebirds needed. And all he had to do was hand it over to Chase Hungate for the final 3 innings. Good day for the Firebirds, not only get the win, but only use 2 pitchers.
And in the past 3 games, it's been Jack Penny at shortstop and then Brandon Stallman at third base. So Ian, how have you liked that switch?
Well, it's a switch that's needed, to be perfectly honest, because Orleans has needed a little bit more out of his shortstop position defensively, and Jack Penny's so good at third base this season and so good from the plate that Kelly Nicholson knows he can trust him really anywhere. Shortstop, a position he's played primarily at Notre Dame, and he's done really good. Brandon Stallman has been good at third base. Last night was a little bit rocky, but I don't expect him to fall off a cliff or anything. I think Stallman has been awesome from the plate as well. I think his defense is going to be solid on the hot corner. I'm also interested to see what Drew Farreau does at second tonight. His first start of the year at second. He's played a lot of short this summer for Orleans. I think the move could really help him because you want his bat in the lineup.
And speaking of second base, Joe Oyama, for the past 29 games, has played second for the Firebirds. Tonight, he's finally getting a much-needed off night, which means that Jack Penny is now going to be that leadoff hitter. How important is it for Jack to really set the tone early on?
Yeah, we talked about it, Sammy. Joe Oyama seems to drive the bus of the Orleans offense. He's not in tonight, so Jack Penny is. I think there's no real change here. I think Jack Penny has brought a lot to this team. He's been hitting 300 over the past week, and he's brought a lot of plate discipline as well. He walks a lot. He's second on the team and walks to who else but Joe Oyama. So him in the leadoff spot, I think it's a great choice by manager Kelly Nicholson, and I think it'll pay off.
And today on the mound for the Firebirds is going to be Jonathan Gonzalez, the left-handed pitcher from Stetson. What should we be expecting from him tonight?
Expect more greatness, right? Last night you got Derek Clark, an all-star, another one tonight, and Gonzalez, and another guy who started the season out of a bullpen who's stepping into a new role as the season goes on here with Orleans. I think with Gonzalez, expect a wicked breaking ball. That's been his pitch all summer long and needs to be on tonight, needs to get a lot of swing and miss with it. Derek Clark didn't have his best stuff last night, still gutted through 6 innings and gave up 3 earned, but he was really good striking out guys left and right. Him, it's the fastball that moves a lot and is really difficult. For Gonzalez, it's the breaking ball that gets a lot of people fooled.
And these Commodores, they have been really hot as of late. Dylan, who's a player that the Firebirds should be watching out for?
Well, there's been a lot of players up and down in this Falmouth order. We've been seeing them all season long. It started, of course, with Chase Laviolette, and they have so many different players that's gone in and out. For right now, right here, I think Tab Tracy's the name to look at. I think Gavin Turley has gotten hot as of late, too. Travis Bazzana is always the name to look at out of Oregon State. He hit the cycle against the Firebirds last time. So hopefully this pitching staff for the Birds knows a little bit more about him and will pitch a little bit more carefully to Bazzana. But those 3 names would really worry me if I'm looking at the scouting report of Falmouth.
And how about Keys? Ian, you're up first.
Well, Bazzana's really fast. This whole team is really fast for Falmouth. Limit their ability to run. They have the most efficient stealing base team. I know that wasn't said correctly. Who cares? They are fast, and you got to limit their ability on the base paths tonight.
They are a very speedy bunch. Dylan, what about you? What's your key?
My key is starting pitching. Yesterday, to get out of that losing streak, it was Derek Clark who put up a big performance. To continue that, Jonathan Gonzalez going into the off day tomorrow, which means the bullpen, anyone can be used at any time before the off day. Sean Matson hasn't pitched in a little bit. Matthew Watson hasn't pitched as well since Friday, the doubleheader against Chatham. Bullpen's rested. If Gonzalez can give 5, the rest of the arms in the bullpen can take over at the end.
I know Sean might be itching to get back on this field after last time's performance, but it's the Commodores, it's the Firebirds. It's going to be a great game. Stay tuned for a lot more content on the Scorching Start.
All right, let's go to war, boys. You guys can get out.
I'm now joined alongside Firebirds manager Kelly Nicholson. Coach, huge win last night. 4 different home runs, 2 from Joe Oyama. How special is he?
Well, I think if the managers voted tonight, I think he'd be the MVP. We have, 18 and 18, so that's, I'm not a math guy, that's 36, right? So we have 8 to go. So there's some season left, right? A little less than a quarter of the season remains, but he is an electric player, man. I don't know if we've ever had a guy like him that impacts the game like he does on both sides of the ball. Colton Wong was close. K. Wong was the MVP of the league when he was here in 2010, and Joe is very comparable to K. Wong.
It's awesome. Everyone loves him at Eldridge Park. People run up to him after the game. Yeah. And for 29 straight games, he has been for your guys' second base. Tonight, he has a much-needed off night, so it'll be Jack Penny, that's the leadoff. How important is it for all those guys to really step up and set the tone?
Well, it's real important. JP, I talked to him today about being in the leadoff spot. He's a high OBP guy. He's a high contact guy. He hits left-handers well. They're starting a lefty tonight. So that's why we just kind of moved all the lefties up 2 spots. And the important thing, I think, is that Joe gets some rest. He wanted a day off, and with the day off tomorrow, it'll give him 2 going into the home stretch. So I think that's equally as important.
And another player who had a huge night last night was none other than Derek Clark. He had a very Derek Clark experience at the mound. Phenomenal, 6 Ks in 6 innings. How special is he as well?
Yeah, he's really good. I think that ERA is second in the league maybe. It's a 1.1 ERA, I think. It was 6 innings, no earned runs last night. And he's going to compete, and he's going to throw strikes, and you know exactly what you're going to get from DC every time he toes the rubber. So I was happy that he got another W and happy that he gave us 6 innings. And, Chase came in and did a nice job as well.
And one player who really has been putting in the work has been Colin Tuft, and he had his first home run of the summer. So how much do you think it's going to help him with his confidence moving forward?
Yeah, no, hey, Tufty's good, man. I think he's the best catcher in the Cape League that's playing the outfield for us. He's going to catch at Tulane, but for our team, it's best for him to play in the outfield. He's just a good player. He works. He plays the game the right way. He plays hard. Early work. Going to do whatever needs to be done for the good of the team, and that's why he's in there again tonight. Yeah, it was nice to see him hit that homer.
And focusing on today's game against the Commodores, is there anyone that you have your eye on in their batting order who has been pretty electric?
Well, the Bazana kid's good from Morgan State. He's one of the better hitters I've seen up here in a long time. The average is high, and I was looking at his spray charts this morning. He hits a ball to all fields. He can run a little bit. He's a good defender. He's a good player. He's fun to watch. Plays with energy. They got a good lefty going for them, a big 6'7", 220-pound West Alabama. I think he's undefeated right now. And so it's, again, every night you've got your work cut out for you in the Cape, and we're going to need to play well tonight. We're going to need to get a good start from Gonzo, and we've got Eaton behind him, and we have Waddy and Matty in the back end of that bullpen. Let's hope we get to those guys.
That's what makes this Cape Cod League so special. Thank you so much, and good luck tonight.
You bet. Thank you.
Hey, set the tone, boys.
I'm now joined alongside West Virginia's pitcher, Derek Clark. Derek, an amazing outing last night. 6 innings, 6 Ks. What was working for you?
Just commanding both sides of the plate with all my pitches. Kind of found my breaking ball late, but attacking, getting ahead early was the overall goal, and it worked out.
And then 2 games before, starting pitchers gave up a few runs early on. You really set the tone. So how awesome is it to have that confidence that you can give to your hitters and also just your outfielders in general?
Yeah, it's good. I feel like we have a good staff. I mean, it's not just me. Anybody can do it on any given night. So just happened to be me last night, and setting the tone early, being able to get some offense going early really helped us a lot.
And after the game, Kelly Nicholson said, hey, it was just a DC type of game. And that's when you know that you have the confidence. How awesome is it to have that trust from your manager?
It's great. I'm thankful that he even gave me an opportunity to come out here. Being a temp guy early in the year, having the opportunity to prove myself I'm super grateful for Kelly and giving me the chance to stay out here for as long as I have been. So.
I feel like a trend for you really is proving yourself. Some people see you and they're like, oh, I don't think much, and then you come out there and you throw strikeout after strikeout after strikeout. So do you like having that chip on your shoulder?
I mean, I've had it my whole career, so I don't like it by any means, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of just the role I've taken. Since I've gotten into college, honestly, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but I feel like I'm the most confident pitcher there is, so I'm just gonna trust my stuff and be the best I can be.
We only have a few games of the regular season. How awesome has it been to really been competing against some of the best hitters and to have the second best ERA in the entire league?
It's been great. I really try not to look at the stats and things like that, just do my thing, play my game, but it's been awesome. I mean, like I've said before, we got a great group of guys. We've really gelled together, especially guys coming in and out with the draft and innings limits and things like that. But it's been fun being able to come out here and play against the best of the best.
And last night was a huge win for you guys, snapping that short 2-game losing streak, but how big was it coming into today as well?
It was really big. We got back to 500, and I feel like we played our game last night. The last couple games against YD, it didn't really feel like we were playing Orleans baseball. So getting back on track and just trying to stay in the win column is the overall goal.
How about the key for today's game against the Falmouth Commodores?
Just keep the offense rolling, play good defense behind the staff. John Go's going to give us everything he's got, and the results will be the results.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this edition of the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. Make sure you tune in at 6 o'clock when the Orleans Firebirds take on the Falmouth Commodores.